Hey everyone, welcome back to the Earthy Goodness Kitchen. Today I'm sharing with you what is sure to be your new favorite summer dinner. It's these chipotle tofu and smoky pepper lettuce wraps with a side of sweet potato chips. But wait, not only will you be getting this recipe, I'm joining up with Janelle, aka the Steamy Vegan, who will be posting another delicious tofu recipe over on her channel.
Well, hello, I'm Janelle from Steamy Vegan. I create tons of healthy, high-protein, plant-based recipes over on my channel, and I am super stoked to be here collaborating with George to bring you guys some delicious tofu recipes. Over on my channel, I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make a sweet, spicy, and saucy Kung Pao tofu stir-fry, and let me just say, it brings a Kung Pao of flavor to the taste buds. It is so good. So make sure to go check out that recipe at the end of this video, and make sure you're subscribed to both of our channels so you're not missing out on any delicious plant-based cooking inspiration. I can't wait to see you there. Back over to you, George.
So this recipe has 15 stages. No, just kidding. It's got 3 stages. We're doing the tofu, the salsa, and the sweet potato chips. Pop your peppers on there, and we're going to give them a good old charring. I would definitely advise using tongs here, just going to be much safer. Now, you don't need to worry about charring your vegetables like this. There's very little evidence that eating charred vegetables is going to negatively impact your health, so don't worry about that unless you're burning your foods like literally every day, then you're gonna be good, and in which case, maybe just turn down the heat a little bit. You're just looking to get a really nice char on each side of the peppers.
If you don't have a gas hob, you can cut the peppers in half and then just grill them until charred.
So we're just going to pop the peppers into a bowl, and then you put some cling film or a plate on top, and that's going to sort of steam the peppers, and then it's going to make it really easy to remove the burnt bits, just leaving us with the really lovely smoky flavour.
Simply top and tail the spring onions.
Then I'm simply just going to finely slice them. Always using my knuckle as the guide, and then my thumb is well behind the fingers, nice and safe, not going to be cutting him, and then just rock your knife back and forward. I'm just going to use about half a jalapeno, no seeds for me personally, and then I'm just going to finely chop it. You could also have charred the jalapeno, but I think we should get enough of that really nice charred flavor, charred smoky flavor from the peppers. So I've just got some rather sad looking coriander, but it should be fine for this salsa. Just going to use about half this bunch, and we're simply going to finely chop it. Feel free to include the stalks like I'm going to do, or you can pick out the leaves if you prefer. Do a quick cross chop to get it nice and fine. I've got about 100 grams of cherry tomatoes here, which I'm going to cut in half and then into quarters, and maybe these quarters in half again. So there you go, nice little small little pieces. And if you want to use big tomatoes, then that's absolutely fine. Just chop them into small little chunks like this. So I've just had the peppers in here for about 10 minutes maybe, and it should be really easy now to take off the blackened bits. I'm just going to use this butter knife to scrape away the charred bits, and yeah, they're coming off pretty easily. Don't worry about getting it all off. A little bit will add a really nice extra bit of smoky flavor. Just get off as much as you can.
You can use any color of pepper. Green ones are going to be slightly more bitter than yellow, red, or orange, but that could add a nice contrast in flavor if you wanted that.
And now we're just going to dice the peppers into nice little cubes.
The peppers will also start to cook a little when being charred, so they'll be really nice and juicy in the salsa.
Charring the peppers like this just gives them such a lovely smoky, almost barbecued flavor, which really elevates the salsa. So we can now bring it all together, starting with our roasted peppers, or charred peppers even, then the cherry tomatoes, the spring onions, the fresh coriander, and the jalapeno. I'm also adding the zest of 1 lime, and of course the juice as well. These limes are quite small, so I'm actually going to add the juice of 1 more. Oopla. I'm also adding the zest of 1 fairly small garlic clove. Feel free to add more if you love your garlic. Then a good pinch of salt, a crack of black pepper, and optionally I'm going to add a glug of extra virgin olive oil. And then just mix it up. Oh, the colors just look amazing. So there is the finished result. Just look at all those colors. There's no way that is not going to be delicious. We'll just give it a quick taste to make sure the seasoning is good. It's fresh, it's tangy, it's got a slight smokiness from the peppers, really delicious. What more could you want from a salsa? For the tofu, we're going to start by mixing up some spices with olive oil and soy sauce. So just start by adding that into the bowl. So we've got about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce. Then about 1.5 teaspoons of cumin powder. 1/2 tablespoon of dried oregano, okay, maybe a bit more. 1/4 teaspoon of garlic granules. Actually, let's go for 1/2 teaspoon. And 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. We'll of course add a good grating of black pepper as well. And a nice pinch of salt. I'm using some nice flaky sea salt here. We don't need to add too much as we've got the soy sauce in there. Then just give that a good whisk.
You can buy some nice pre-made Mexican seasoning mixes in the supermarket or online.
Then we're literally just going to crumble the tofu into nice small chunks. I think using your hands here is definitely the way to go for getting the best coverage on your tofu. So we're just going to pour out this tofu onto a baking tray and get it nice and evenly spread out. Ideally, I would have kept the tofu in slightly larger chunks, but this tofu was quite a crumbly brand. And then we'll just pop it in the oven for around probably 20-25 minutes. And we will turn it halfway through as well. So now that we've baked the tofu to make it chewy and really nice and caramelized and flavorsome, we're going to make a sauce to add even more flavor and to sort of rehydrate it a little bit. We'll start with about 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, then about 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, a touch of maple syrup for some sweetness, or any chili paste of your choice. Optionally, a touch of liquid smoke, but don't worry if you don't have it. Then just add water and we're going to whisk to combine. That's just got a beautiful, vibrant red color. Whenever you're making a sauce like this one, balancing out the flavors is going to be key for making it really delicious. Generally, you want a mix of sweet, salty, umami, acidity, and then other flavors like smoky, spicy, herbs, that sort of thing. In this case, we've got red wine vinegar for tang and acidity, maple syrup for sweetness, we've got tomato puree and chipotle for that umami flavor, and then the spicy flavor from the chipotle. We're not going to be adding too much salt as we've got the soy sauce already in the tofu. So the tofu is now nice and chewy and dehydrated. It's got some really nice color on it, and that is going to be absolutely delicious in these lettuce wraps. The great thing about these tofu crumbles is that you can freeze them in portions, and then whenever you want to make some tacos, some lettuce wraps, maybe some pita breads, anything like that, you can take out a portion, heat it up in a little bit of the sauce that we made, and it's going to taste as if you made it fresh. So we'll just heat up some of that sauce, and it goes, in fact all of it, and then pour in that tofu.
You can make this really saucy, or you can add less sauce and keep it more of a crunchy tofu sort of vibe.
Just let that simmer for a minute to reduce the sauce a little bit. And there you go, that is your Chipotle tofu. It's caramelized, it's saucy, you've got a nice bit of chew in the tofu, really delicious. Now we're just going to make some really easy sweet potato chips because I'm not about the no carb life, but if you are, then feel free to skip this step. I've got these quite small little sweet potatoes here, which I'm just going to top and tail, and then I'm simply going to cut them into sort of little discs, about half a centimetre thick, I'd say. So fairly thin, and that way they're going to get nice and crispy when we bake them or air fry them.
It's always a good idea to mix up the potato varieties that you eat to get different nutrients in your diet, sweet potatoes being incredibly high in vitamin A.
The sweet potato I'm keeping really simple. We're just going to go in with a drizzle of olive oil. We're of course going to season with salt and pepper. I'm using a nice flaky sea salt here. Good crack of black pepper. Just going to season it with a couple of spices, starting with some ground cumin, maybe like a teaspoon, I'd say. The sort of earthy, sweet flavour of cumin really does go well with sweet potato. Then some oregano, a little bit of smoked paprika, probably about half a teaspoon, and literally just a pinch of cinnamon. I think it goes really nicely with the sweet potato, even if this is a savoury dish. And then just get your hands in there and get it all nice and coated in the spices. I quite like adding some polenta or semolina to these sweet potato chips, but I don't have any at the moment, so I'm going to leave that out, of course. But if you've got some, feel free to use it. I'm just going to air fry these probably for about 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll see how they get on. You really can't beat the air fryer for making delicious sweet potato chips like this one. It's hard to believe that sweet potatoes are good for you when they taste this good. Of course, baked or steamed would be the healthiest way, but if you want to actually enjoy your food, then something like this is just absolutely amazing. So I've just got some baby gem here, and I'm going to pick out the smaller leaves for these lettuce cups, more towards the center of the lettuce. So these ones are looking good. Let's take a few of them. And of course, we're going to give them a quick wash as well. The other ones I'll use for a salad or something on another day. Spoon in some of that delicious smoky Chipotle tofu. A few of those sweet potato chips on the side. And then of course, some of that fresh salsa. I'm so excited to dive into these.
And there you have a real treat lunch or dinner right there.
At last we get to dig in. Let's give these a try. Perfect little lettuce cup. Sensational. Wow, that is really good. That has worked out perfectly. You get a lovely crunch from the lettuce leaf, and then you've got that juicy, chewy, and smoky tofu. And then finally, the salsa comes in with another burst of flavor, and that is just a delicious meal. Sweet potato chips as well are just moreish and addictive. Definitely give this a try. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to go and check out Janelle's video over on the Steamy Vegan. Enjoy.